to come out there instead for a car.
And that's what he was saying.
But if his van is sitting out here and it's 20 feet, is what he's saying, for the car to get around the van.
Oh, parking the van, I see what the question is. When you park the van outside, how are you gonna get your car around?
Well, that's why we will have a space in the garage for the van to be in the garage.
Yeah, there won't be enough room there.
There won't be.
Either
We'll just
way.
be jockeying.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know though you can get a car there if you wanted to.
Right, so when the van is in the neighborhood, it's usually in the garage.
Right.
It will be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's also full of a lot of stuff we don't want to move out.
Got some more?
Well,
Not about the building itself.
go ahead.
I have a different question, not about the structure, it's more about your neighbors. I know no one's here, but have you talked to them? Have they, can you give some feedback about that?
We have two neighbors on either side of us who would be potentially directly affected. Maggie lives to the east of us. She shares the property line that the garage would be close to. She doesn't have any problem with it. We've asked her about it several times, and she says she'd be happy to see the building that we have replaced. Actually, the building that we have is not very attractive at all. And the same is actually said by our neighbor up to the west. She lives in a smaller house, doesn't have a garage at all, but she's really, she's very encouraging. I've not met any opposition at all, and we have a really good relationship with our neighbors, so we talk to them frequently.
Mike?
Well, the height is what, you say the height is gonna be how high now in the building itself, 18 feet?
Roof being probably 18, and the house is probably 19 or 20 at least. I've been up there on the ladder chasing squirrels.
See, for utility work, I'm just thinking of different things.
The current structure that's back there, even though it's not usable, is at least 18 feet high.
Yeah, it's too high.
It wouldn't be any different from a utility standpoint than what is exactly there. I mean, we won't be able to take down the structure that's there unless we can replace it with something.
But I mean, I know I don't blame you for wanting to have a garage at all, but I think a 2.5 car garage is, for the area, is, and like I said, I know I don't blame you at all for wanting to have the storage and everything, but I think the 2.5 car garage is too big or too tall for that area that you're in. That's just my opinion. Everybody else may think it's just fine, but I just think that I think the structure's too large for the lot and for the area. And if what I'm looking at is just like this deal over here. Now we have two buildings that you can't walk between, and you've got well, I mean, your safety. If one catches on fire, the other's going to catch on fire. And, you know, there's supposed to be a firewall, I believe, when things are built within a certain distance.
We're already planning to meet that one.
What's that?
We're already planning to meet that one. It's a variance on the side there.
And there's 15 feet at least between the garage that we're proposing and our home, so that definitely exceeds the 5-foot fire barrier.
But I'm thinking about the people to the other side of it. I know that maybe they want to build, you know, whoever might move in next time, or the people that's next to you or behind you. Well, then you have row houses, basically, you just have home with one row.
Driveways are always to the east.
Well, you know, the thing, if we give, what I'm looking at is if we give a variance for a large building and someone else comes in, it's hard to tell them no. You know, when someone else 2 doors down or the next block over, and they say, you know, I'd like to have one too. So that's what I'm.
Is there a standard for height?
Yes, the code states that the accessory structure cannot be taller than the primary structure.
I'm somewhat
close to darn near 1/3 of the residents. You know, so I have no problem with that. As I have lived in this neighborhood, and the one across on Main Street, there's a structure pretty darn close to this. And I look at it when I go by and I think, that's strange. But it fits. It works. And for that construction guy, it works. Over here, it still works. And I don't think it's a whole lot less huge compared to the others in the neighborhood. And I think they tried to do it and work the best they can, and I'm concerned about the setback, but other than that, not the size. No concern about the size. The height, it doesn't exceed the house height. It is, matter of fact, less than the height of the house. And, it's gonna look a little strange, but in my neighborhood, strange is what it's all about. You know, my house was built in 1903. I have got a garage that was built probably in 1920. My car can't fit into it. But, yeah, the height is not concerned.
I think the percentage of the overall size of the, I think she's absolutely right, it's not a huge difference there. I'm probably more concerned about the setback than anything, because it's butted up against other properties. The existing owners doesn't sound like they have an issue with it, the next one's fine.
Well, guess we need to deal with who's here. And there's 4 issues that we're gonna have to approve individually. But before we move on to that, anybody else have something to say?
Yeah, I've got another question. Now that you made me start thinking about the size and the setback. If the size of the building were smaller, help me with this, would that take care of the setback issue, or would we still have the setback issue?
Depending on where you're making it smaller, if you're making it shallower, or if you're making it, less wide. If you're making it shallower, you would potentially not need, the variance for the setback between the 2 structures. The size really doesn't have anything to do with the rear yard setback or the side yard setback. That's just where they would like to have the structure set. So they've set it where they would like to see it from the side yard, they've set it where they'd like to see it from the rear yard, and they're getting caught with the distance between the 2 because of the size. From our discussions, making it shallower isn't going to work for them because of the size of the vehicle that he has, so.
That's what Mr.
I would
Rogers told me.
I would anticipate, and I don't wanna put words in your mouth, but if you made it smaller, you would have to make it smaller width-wise versus depth-wise to meet their needs for their vehicle.
And on the west side, because the access from the east side is really what's crucial. Being able to access, the access from the driveway is more important than cutting off 2 or 3 feet on the east side and shifting the doors further west.
Any further questions?
I have one question, the builder, I think, mentioned the firewall. Were you planning on having a firewall on the east side of the garage that you want to be 4 feet from neighboring property?
Yeah, if we get the approved variance to have it over there, then yes, we can get fire protection or a firewall on that side. The 1-hour fire rating. We can get that on the sidewalls and the soffit, on the overhang, wherever that needs to be, we can achieve that.
And just to jump in there to tag on, to help answer your question, they've been in contact with our codes department and our plans examiners regarding that firewall and what they need to provide and such if they get the variance. So we've tried to prep them and, make sure that they're taking that into consideration ahead of time.
Okay, thank you.
I got a question for the city. Do we have someone who will go out and check this as it's being built?
We do, when they request a building permit, they will need to get, certain inspections, for footings, for electrical, and then final inspections. So, yes, we have a building inspector on staff, and he goes out and does those, periodic inspections when the contractor or the applicant calls and requests them.
But I would add on that, he goes out and inspects the work, but he doesn't know what the property line's at.
Is what now?
He does not know where the property line would be. I mean, there may be a fence there, but he's not a licensed surveyor. But he's not out there with tape measuring off of the property line, saying, yeah, it is 4 feet, or yes, it is 5 feet. You don't do that. So
Yeah, but that's, in a way, that could cause a problem right there. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody could say, yeah, the property line is right over here, but the property line is really, so.
Will you have this survey?
We were not planning to survey it, we were planning to go off of the records that we have.
Probably
there.
can, probably so.
We can, obviously, we can survey
Dan,
it.
how you gonna know where the property line is and the building should be?
We're working off of the records the city provided us.
That's sufficient. Is that sufficient?
I mean, the record the city would have provided may have been a plot plan for the property. You know, we're not like surveyors, I mean, we do not know where the property line is, we haven't gone out and staked it, so. We show it on the plot plan, this is what the property line is, you can show 4 feet off in the field, but we know where that's at.
We can have it surveyed.
What was that?
We can have it surveyed.
Appreciate that.
Under
Thank you.
$300.
Any more good questions?
No.
Well, if I read this, we need to take action or approval, if not, A, and B, and C, and D. Well, that's how I'd like it. Relevant regulations on our report here is 1, 2, and there's 2 parts to number 3. Right, Michelle?
If you wanna go to the staff recommendation page, that gives you your section numbers and, the requests and, what the requirements are. And you can build your motions off of that. That's a little easier to read.
Okay, that would be page 13, at least in my book. Is that the same one you have?
Yes, you could go ahead and, make a motion to approve a variance from blah, 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 or make a motion to deny a variance from blah, 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 blah. So you can just cut off the beginning of that sentence and start it at approve or deny.
Do I hear a motion regarding the variance of section 18.25.060B, which is reducing the required 9-foot side yard setback to 4 for the construction of the property? Do I hear a motion?
I'll give it a try here. I would move to approve a variance from section 18.25.060B of the Gardner Municipal Code to reduce the required 9-foot side yard setback to 4 feet for the construction of an accessory structure at 43 West First Street.
Do I hear a second for the approval of? instead of variance. Right here is second. I can second that. I would second for the approval of the variance from 9 foot to 4 foot. This is for approval. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay,
Can we just clarify,
yes,
was that a
that was a 2 to 3,
2 to 3, okay.
yes. So that approval did not pass. Does that mean it was denied? I don't think so.
Yes, it does.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay, okay. Number 2. Do I hear a motion to approve a variance from section 18.25.060C to reduce the required 25-foot rear yard setback for an accessory structure to 13 foot?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance from section 18.25.
I'll second that.
I hear a motion and second to approve number 2. The required setback to 13 feet. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. 5-0. Third item, staff recommends, well, let's see, do I hear a motion to approve a variance for section 18.140.100B.1 to reduce the required 15 foot between the structure to 14 foot from the primary structure? Do I hear a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve variance from section 18.140.
And that's to approve?
To approve.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I hear a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. 5-0. Passed. And finally, right here. Do I hear a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the variance from section 18.140.100B.1 to allow the accessory structure to exceed the maximum 1 foot.
I'll second.
I hear a motion and a seconded to approve the maximum 1/3 or the size of the building. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. It was carried 5-0. So, to rewind here, everything passed except the side yard setback at 143 West Park. And that still is going to be required 9 feet at this point.
Right.
Okay. Mrs. Stevens, do you want to come on up?
Is there a setback number that between 4 and 9 that would be acceptable, even given the fire rating, et cetera, other requirements, surveying, that would enable us to park the equipment we're building the garage for in the garage?
You know, the houses that were built in the 60s, there was a 7-foot setback. Can you get 5 on a 7?
Possibly. Possibly, if the codes are gonna be reorganized in 18 months for a 5-foot setback, could we do a 5-foot setback?
We don't know that.
I know we don't.
We don't
We know it probably isn't gonna be 9, though.
I know you're asking the question, and he gave a possible solution. You know, we could
And
revisit that.
as narrow as your lots are, we can't have buildings from corner to corner.
That's
Side
correct.
to side, or however you wanna look at it.
That's correct. Our purpose and the number that we came up with is to take advantage of the existing driveway where it's at, so that we could drive into the space where we would actually be parking. And the existing driveway now runs within a foot of the property line. So obviously, we're already shifting it a little bit. And the space between the house and the ability to get into the garage is a finite amount of space.
Have we discussed that? Have we worked out something yet?
Have we closed this meeting, or are we still?
We haven't closed the meeting.
No, I know it, that's what I'm asking.
I was under the impression they were closed.
You took action on the request,
We voted, we took action on it. Could we reopen it? Doesn't seem like there's great hesitancy. Go ahead, Mitch.
My thought was that if you took action on the request, you would, or if you would have wanted to modify the request, you would have had to have done that
We didn't have that
at that
information.
point in time.
We can,
I can try to find out real quick. I've never encountered them.
well, one thing about it, I mean, instead of waiting till next month or 2 months, which is we're gonna hold them up on their building, and us having another meeting, and cover this same thing again, we're all here right now. And unless somebody, if somebody needs to take a break, we can take a break, and then we can come back.
Well, let me step out for a second.
All right.
So I can get a definitive.
Because I just soon work something out.
Yeah, no,
If we can, I'd rather work it out so that they can have an idea of what's going on. We can reopen the meeting, well, I'm all for reopening the meeting, and staying here tonight.
Not too long, I don't keep
You
that.
haven't adjourned, so
No,
that's not an issue. It's just whether you can, once you've taken action on it, if you can go back. This is,
Quick question, was it the denial because of the encroachment on the side yard, or was it a fire hazard standpoint?
At this point, it's encroachment on the side yard.
Okay, I just didn't know if there's something different we needed to address,
No,
the
that's
structure
what
that we
it's-
can do to.
Right.
That's what it's set up, that's what the code is 9 feet.
Yeah, I understand that, I just didn't know.
That's the only thing, yeah, that's
As
the
far
only
as
thing
the
we're talking
denial.
about right now.
Okay. Just
But I can see you guys' point too. You got a narrow lot, you ain't got a lot of room to play, so if you come in 9 feet, the homes are probably, when you come right off your property line, the house is built there, of course, houses are built in say in 1920s or whatever. Why, they're probably not sitting 9 foot off the property line.
No,
So,
So it's already hard to.
right.
so it's hard to,
Make
in
that
that
turn.
respect, of course, it's times change,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and so.
If we had a place where we could reposition the driveway, we would consider that, but there is no other entrance off
Well,
of
yeah, you don't have
Park
anything,
Street.
just the right of way on
Mhm.
one, well, I say on one, so you got right of way on either side, but.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
all in that plane.
Yeah.
On the 3 houses on our side here, all the driveways are on the east side. I can't really foresee my neighbor on the east side being able to build anything with the access at any point from a driveway, because hers is blocked
Right.
in by a garage.
Well, I understand that. It was the 4 foot, 9 foot to 4 foot,
Right.
that's all.
And did you say the van is too large to come in from the alley?
Yes, ma'am. I have a hard time getting it in the open space between the fence and that accessory structure now.
So having a structure there which would be closer to the alley would make it impossible to make that turn at all, because, vehicle
Well,
has.
garage go on each side, you have to drive through.
Well, even
Yeah,
then, you
not
can't make
even
the
then.
turn, it's like a
Neighbors.
90 degree.
Yeah, that, I've almost kissed that fence on the south side of the alley a few times. So, it's pretty tight.
Well, we're trying to find a solution here,
Appreciate
you
it.
know, and she's asking the expertise in this situation, so.
I
So
called-
we have to relax at the
All right.
moment.
Okay.
I called the WIC builder engineer today to talk about the firewall thing, and they said that we have to put, 5/8 sheetrock on both sides of the wall before the metal sheathing on the outside goes on. And then they also suggested that we use another fireproofing product on the eaves and in addition to that kind of stuff, so. We've already
It's just
fixed-
sheetrock, isn't it? It'd be sheetrock all the way out this.
It is, it's 5/8 and they require it to be laid laterally.
Yeah.
And they give all kinds of specs for.
How you seal it,
what's named.
seal the seams.
Seal the seams, and then I think E84 is like a spray-on stuff that you have to go on. So we thought about the fire
Yeah,
stuff.
you've done your work and everything, so that's the thing, that's.
Appreciate that.
While we're waiting,
Yeah,
we could, move on to item 2.
go ahead.
Guess we could just start there, but, the land development code, I sent you, an email earlier this week about where we are in the process. We've, signed a contract with Gould Evans, a consulting firm, to help us with the code rewrite. Right now, we're getting the work program outlined, the citizen participation program outlined, and the advisory committee and the technical committee. We've had these two volunteer to be on the committee. We will have 2 people from the planning commission, and then we have a handful of other people that we have identified and asked to be on the committee. We have so far people from the real estate side, people from the development side, people that are more familiar, since this is a very technical document, people that are more familiar with dealing with the regulations, developing under the regulations, selling property under the regulations, things like that. We're looking to get started ASAP. I have a call with them tomorrow to try to get started, so we're looking at bringing both the board and the commission updates on a regular basis. Your 2 committee members can provide those also. If the board isn't meeting, I'll send out some emails just to let you know where we are in the process. Even though the board is basically the keeper of the code, you will not have an action item on adopting the new code. If you'd like to, we could set up a meeting when it gets close to adoption that you could go through the code. We could give a presentation to you about the new code. We could do a study session about the new code, since this board would be granting the variance and exceptions from it. But we would anticipate it to be done and approved for the governing body in about 14 to 16 months is what the timeline looks at this point, so.
Did I hear anybody from the downtown business owner on this committee? I didn't hear you say downtown or business.
We
I heard you
do-
say real estate, but that's
Yeah.
not necessarily the same thing.
Off the top of my head, not anybody from specifically downtown. We also have the opportunity to have the consultant do what they call white papers on specific topics. We would foresee the potential for downtown to be its own white paper, and we have, with that, we can have special interest, committees that will focus on specifically that issue. And we would say signs would be one of those potentially.
That'd be handy.
Downtown would potentially be one of those, and that's where we would probably catch those downtown, businesses, so.
All right, go keep us up.
I will. So.
I've never been through anything quite like this, ever, personally. It's one of those things where it's kind of full of the ocean, and you're gonna have all kinds of rewrites across all code, or they prioritize certain things, or how does it work?
What the committee will see, you will see chunks of code. There's also a technical committee, which is staff, basically, and we're gonna be the ones that are coming through the regulations. The advisory committee, you're gonna have an introductory meeting where you meet with the consultants and staff, and we'll outline what your duties are, what you'll be seeing. We'll be using the committee as a sounding board too, to say, okay, this is an issue, which direction do you see us going? It's more of a guidance, but yes, you will see the actual regulations and the pieces of the code, and that gets very detailed and very legal. I mean, if you've ever gone through and actually read a code, it's a little overwhelming, but you'll see it in pieces to help alleviate some of that overwhelmingness of a lot of legal.
Will they be leveraging, code from other cities around us as a baseline, or will it be from the ground up?
I would go out on a limb and say we never start anything from scratch. It's one of those things that our consultant has experience doing this. So they have experience as to what works in certain situations and I'm guessing they're not starting from scratch. So if we have issues with specific signage or specific districts and what works and what doesn't, they'll use that knowledge, and if they wrote a section of code that works for any town USA, and we have a similar situation, they may say, okay, this is what we've done in the past, what do you think about this? Do you think starting with this as a baseline and tweaking it from there, that's what I foresee. I mean, we never try to start from scratch on anything if we don't have to. We learn from what we've done in the past, and I don't see them coming in with a code and saying, here you go, copy, replace, I hope it worked on, any town versus Gardner. I hope we catch them all. I know there's places that do that. We don't foresee that with Gould Evans. They are a local company. They have office in Kansas City, and that's where our project managers come from. So they have experience locally, and they have experience nationwide. So, and the project manager himself is an attorney. So not only do we have that code writing experience and the experience for some of their previous examples that they had showed us with visuals in the code to make it a little more user-friendly for the average person. We also have his background of the legal aspects of it. So, and he's also has a past of working in municipal government. So we feel that they're going to be a great consultant to work with. So.
Lots of changes.
Yep, it's going to be good.
Thank you.
Okay, don't have a definitive answer. I'm just looking here at the rules, and it does look like typically there'd be
the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
They closed the public hearing, and they took action on the request.
Okay. I really don't have an answer. I tried phoning a few colleagues
Well,
of mine.
we're still, even though we're not a small town anymore, we still are. And to make it easy, instead of putting this, because I think next month's meeting's already been canceled, because they've got to receive next month's meeting already been canceled. So they would have to wait until 2 months before we have a meeting. So instead of making it a hardship on them, if it's okay with everybody else, if we could go ahead and maybe in 15 minutes, maybe we can come up with something, and then again, maybe we can't, maybe we'll just have to stay with what we are. But I'd like to go ahead and try to work something out with them tonight, if possible. And then they could go ahead and build and.
Well, I mean, we're kind of being creative here, looking.
What we're looking at is the bylaws for the,
Right. On one
I looked
hand-
at state statute, and it didn't really say anything
On
about it.
one hand, it says in my heart that we advertise such and such, we ought to stick with it. On the
Well-
other hand, we are trying to help the family in our town. And a consensus might, at the moment, might be about 6 foot. Build a dam, what do you think?
I'm from town.
No, I know it, but,
And,
oh, that's right, Mr. Stevens, you're the one that's got to back that thing up. I know it's 2 feet, but you know,
Five gets me out of fire code, that's what we had hoped for
5.
If I get 5, then all I have to do is fireproof the overhang. And
it wasn't about the fireproof.
Oh, I know.
It was about the side yard setback from 9 to 4. And I'm, right or wrong, I'm stepping out saying, would 6 feet work? From the side property.
Wife said, yeah, that's what I've been told.
Okay. Now we'll let the legalese people see what can happen here.
Yeah, I think we can kind of do it both ways. We can, yeah, I think we can treat it, I guess, as an amendment to the bylaws for purposes of tonight's meeting. It just, yeah, it doesn't address it, so we'll let them do it, basically. And then there is one provision, I guess they could, and it's not quite on it, but especially if you're able to vote from there, items on the agenda. Majority,
Yeah.
do so, we would, majority of the
Well, I already,
amend to allow or present. You don't think we're gonna see?
I don't know, I'm kind of looking for some guidance on this. I mean, the code didn't talk about it, state statute really doesn't talk about it, so, I don't know.
Well, let me just get on the board.
Yeah, they have to make it, they don't have to make it modified.
What do you think of Mr. King? Rules of order as far as.
Their bylaws.
Bringing back up that issue we've already just voted on, that's what you just modified.
But I
Like I said,
don't know why they couldn't
Rules
modify.
for our committee. Change that. We'll probably have leeway during that discussion.
Like I said, like I said, we went around and checked the thing, if there's just 2 to 3 votes,
Mayor,
same
Leah.
thing's 1 1/2. So there's 1 1/6, most people will make sure.
So I'm sure my case will have this.
Have you had denial?
Okay, this is how we can do it.
That's what they're trying to respect. So leave the bill on, because this is the last one. They try to decide it's going to be. But like I said, instead of homeowners, maybe just nice, so they're going to, person behind.
So one of
Well,
the three.
I don't think about this.
Yeah, you can.
People will show you.
So they let you prove it out on 3 cities.
You know, say this was done in
My son-in-law, look at this, but it's one for the winning side, you have to make it
I like to look at this. No. When they talk president, I
That's
don't.
ideal time, they talk.
Hey, Mr. Mitch. No, that's okay.
I thought it was before.
Well, you know, it's got like those first bears, and it's just what they, that's what they put in the phone.
And then.
These are questions that go on, yes. They're like the clock, just, because that's such good.
So it looks like the
Need that reason why they.
I don't know, 15, 15 years, I'm still in.
or in the column,
I'll still get out there.
come back.
Yeah.
Our majority vote.
Well, I think we'll, like, we try to enforce it, and go to the street, I can't say, but if we're back in Austin, I don't think we need that. It's just like if we said, okay, with this, if we said, we don't have to do it, then we don't know that you can't keep it legal. That's the same thing. Setback.
Winning side.
But, and then we said, if it was a setback, 6 foot from your setback,
Okay.
6, if we have a meeting, you know, we say we're gonna go the other direction.
So,
Put it
we'll
at
have
3.
the winning side make a motion.
We're approaching the other direction.
I can see that there's,
Just
we're
the
still in
first action.
committee here, and we can do that process.
And like we talked about
And then
before.
we'll reopen it.
Oh, yeah.
Modify our
See, I didn't got no way.
Okay, I think I got some sort of clarity here. It looks as though we can rescind, so it seems as though the winning side on the first item can make the motion to rescind the action, and then we can go forward and modify accordingly.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we
So
are
we're the
still in
winning
that
side.
session, and we would entertain a motion, for those that have passed as a denial to this.
One of
Or-
the,
Do we
one
just
of
need
the,
to make a motion to reopen it, or do we need to make a motion to?
Motion to rescind that first action.
so one of the 3 that voted, to deny the motion to approve would make a motion to rescind the action,
Setback?
The action of
The
taking
first
on
item.
rescind the action taken on,
18.25.0.
yes.
I'll make a
B.
motion.
Do I hear it?
Rescind.
That sounds good, what you just said.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to rescind the action that we took on denying the variance from section 18.2506.
And I'll second it, because I was one of the ones who voted against it.
Okay, all in favor of rescinding that item, the action on that item, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 5-0. Let us revisit.
If we modify it, is that what we, when we make the motion?
Yes.
Do we make the motion in here to say specifically what we're gonna?
You would say that you're making a motion to approve a variance from section blah, 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 to reduce the required 9-foot side yard setback to X.
Okay.
What are you gonna say?
So
First of all-
in the place of that 4, you put whatever
All right,
you.
I would like to entertain discussion regarding this particular item.
I would like to request that the request to change the setback from 9 foot to 4 foot is changed from, 4 feet to 6 feet.
6 feet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see what we can do. And is there discussion here?
I got one, that takes the firewall away from them, then they don't have to put up a firewall then, is that right?
That's my understanding, but
Okay.
that would have to be clarified with our plans examiner.
Well, that's something they could check with, I mean, but that's something you can check with, perhaps save, some money on that deal.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept variance from section 18.25060B to reduce the required 9-foot side yard setback to 6 foot for construction? Do I hear a motion?
Yes. I'll make a motion to accept the variance from section 18.25.060 of the Gardner Municipal Code to reduce the required 9 feet side yard setback to 6 feet for the construction of accessory structure.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor from 9 foot to 6 foot? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries 5 votes 0. Thank you very much. Thank you, staff. Lesson learned tonight. Is there anything else you would like to discuss? No. I think that's all for tonight's meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All right, do I hear a second? And all those in favor say aye. Aye. It passed. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, you was mobile tonight, you wanna get that do all that.
I won't leave it home without a girl.
You took the wrong night for a stand.
Okay.
You bet.
That was
Bear
good.
with me.
That was good, I appreciate that. Okay, sir, that'll be okay?